Hello, friends. Welcome to our class. My name is Tammy. We'll scooch back to the mat here. Our affirmation for our class is all my feelings are valid. We will be releasing physical and emotional tension through our class. Our yin class here, it's very good for letting yourself just feel through your emotions. Holding those still poses, we definitely get to see how are we really feeling. So beginning our class, we can lie down, and I'm going to make a little prop here for myself. So you can use pillows, or you're going to use a rectangular bolster or a bolster, whatever's going to work for you. And lying on your back, you can also do this. So you're going to have an incline, and you're going to put a block underneath of your pillow. So you're just propping them all up, make an incline, and then you can lie. So whatever ways you're going to, you don't even need to use a pillow. Whatever way that you would like to do this for yourself. When you lie down, you can have the props underneath of your knees too here for butterfly. Just taking your time setting up here. And then you're gonna love this pose. So a little bit more setup. So again, our focus is releasing physical and emotional tension. With this opening into our pelvis. A lot of times we do hold tension into this pelvis, so having supports underneath of the knees will help our pelvis just to release a little bit more into the ground, into the earth, letting your body release, letting the earth absorb everything that does not serve you. We may close our eyes, turn our attention to our breath, feeling the ebb and flow of our breath. We feel the widening. We feel the deepening. And in our class, we're able to work into areas of body where we're holding tension or trapped emotions through these poses. It's also really good for seeing how you're feeling right now. So the present moment. In everyday life. Let yourself enjoy the quiet as you let your body start to settle, release. The inhale breath, continue to feel the widening, opening. Exhale breath. Yield into the ground. Let go. Coming out of reclined butterfly. And turn your right knee and left knee up towards the sky. But taking your time just to come out, you can turn over to the side and making your way up. And just setting your props over to the side. We'll come into a twist now. Upright twist. So turn to the front of our mat. Taking both legs long in front of you, removing the fleshy part from your bottom. Right leg bending through the knee and crossing it over top of the left leg. We sit up tall. You may place your left hand onto the outside of the right knee. Take your right hand down towards the ground. And we twist now over to the right side. Looking over your shoulder if that works for you. You can close your eyes, releasing your shoulders away from the ears. Feel the collarbones just release down. Your shoulders relax a little bit more. With the exhale breath, use it to help you to relax. Think of the push and the pull of your breath. Pulling in the oxygen, pushing out the carbon dioxide. Inhale the oxygen into our body from the earth. Exhale the carbon dioxide out into the earth. Out. This is a nice pose to do seated, sitting on a stool or a chair. And then just without even crossing your legs, you can just twist over to the side. Now making our way out of this twist, coming back slowly to the front, extending our right leg, and then into the other side. Taking the left leg, and remember you can do this on a stool or a chair too. Take the left hand down. Draw the left knee in towards the chest with the right hand. And we sit up tall. And then we twist over to the left side. Here again, we draw the shoulders down. Inhale. Opening, widening. Exhale, we let go. Coming to the end of our twist. And make our way back towards the front. Here, take both legs forward and then just give a little shake out. Taking the left leg forward, the right leg comes behind. Into deer pose. Add the pelvic tilt. You may lift up and add a little twist to this here, right, so that you can feel a little bit deeper into the hip flexors. You may also add a little bit of an opening to this twist by coming over. So we walk our hands over to the left side and then coming around. This is a big opening. You do not have to come back if you don't want to. And then lie back. And your arms may come out to the sides. So again, finding what you would like to do. To be able to hold the pose, find stillness, and breathe. This is our third pose into our class. You may be noticing still physical things that are going on in your body. So noticing areas of tension. Maybe you now start to turn inward and notice your heart. How is your heart rate? How's your heartbeat? Are you noticing if you're breathing into your chest and abdomen, being able to open up? Coming out of deer pose on this side. If you are lying down, just coming up the opposite way as you came down. Up. And now we move to the other side. So taking the right leg forward, left leg comes behind. Okay, now we add the pelvic tilt. So into the hip flexors again on the left side here and your quad. We add a little bit of a twist so we can get a little bit deeper into our spine. If you wanted to lie down, we move our hands over to this right side and walking the hands back. Lying back, we may open up our arms. This pose does touch on a lot of opening into our body. So through the hip flexors, so the hips again, into the back. If you're lying down, this big opening in through the front of our body. Our thoughts may still be racing. This may be the first time that you've had stillness all day. Be the first time that you've been able to have quiet. I know that this is true for me, so I'm sure it is for a few of you. Inhale to those areas of tension, so in the physical body. Exhale, releasing. Turning your mind to your physical body. Where do you need to breathe into to help it to Release, exhale. Making our way out of deer pose for the other side. And coming around. Up. Our legs back to the center. Coming back to our affirmation for our class. All of our feelings are valid. All of my feelings are valid. Because this is for you. All of my feelings are valid. So into butterfly pose from here. You may be in butterfly pose or make your way into square pose. And you might want to have a prop handy. Square pose would be, the full square pose would take your left leg underneath, right leg over top, and having our ankle and knee over top of each other for both sides. You can place a pillow underneath of the right knee and we hold and squaring those hips, or it could look like this, crossing your right leg over top of the left leg, placing your pillow underneath the right. You can also take the pressure off of the lower back because this is definitely a big pose for the hamstrings. And you can have the right crossing over the left here, like this. You can have also a rolled up blanket underneath of the left knee. So with that bent knee, that'll take pressure off the hamstrings too. So remember, you have time to set yourself up. Please do so. And then when you find that stillness for yourself, notice the areas that are maybe a little bit tighter. This pose is into our hips again. And sitting here too, of course, your back. We want to be able to release it, so letting go. We can just do a little wiggle, a little worm through our spine and then find stillness. You may tip the chin down slightly into the chest to help release the head, the neck muscles. The exhale breath, release your shoulders away from the ears. The affirmation, all my feelings are valid. All of my feelings are valid. All of my feelings are valid. With the inhale breath, I want you to start to feel a lightness into the upper body. With the inhale breath, I want you to think of little bubbles bubbling up with the inhale breath, letting yourself start to feel the lightness into the upper body. breathing into the upper body and feeling those little bubbles bubbling up into the upper body. Exhale breath, feel the sinking. Coming out of square pose. And crossing our legs and just taking the right leg and the left leg forward. Do a little shake, shake, shake out too. And then into the other side, here we go. So now the left leg will be crossing over top of the right leg. So finding which way you would like to do this for yourself, you can have your right leg forward. You can have your pillow underneath the left leg like this. You could be sitting up on a pillow too. Have a rolled up towel or blanket underneath of the knee, or into square pose with both of your legs bent, ankle over top of the knee, and then knee over top of the ankle. Placing your pillow underneath of the right or the left knee. And we hold. You can have the left ankle straight here so it's not sickling by just holding it with your hands. Once you've found that stillness, turn to your breath, breathing into areas of tension. So this could be into the hip again. Now for me, coming into our poses here. Really nice to work through the hips to help release tension, physical tension. Definitely where I would be holding then that emotional tension. So breathing in. Exhale. Again, feel the sink in. Letting the earth absorb everything that does not serve you. You may try on this side, inhaling into the upper body, feeling the inhale come into your upper body like bubbles. Feel that lightness, the lift. Exhale, letting go. Your body softens. Are you able to let your pelvis sink into the ground a little bit more? Turn your exhale breath to it and exhale to let go. Let it sink a little bit deeper. We turn our mind to our breath, turning inwards. Square pose is coming to an end. So we can just start taking our time to make our way out of the pose. Now getting ready for our next pose by first, and take your legs forward and do a little shake, 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 shake out. And to our next pose, it's melting heart. It's also called puppy pose. So we don't need any props for this pose. Just your nuts. So we can come to all fours. And in all fours, we do a really, really big step forward with the right hand and then a big step forward with the left hand. Drawing your forearms down, drawing your heart down towards the ground, letting the forehead rest on, maybe it could be your hand if needed, or the mat, and your hips are up above the knees. Stretch the arms forward where it's comfortable for you, but so that you can feel the lengthening into the backs of the arms. If you wanted to take your knees out to the sides, of course, to the outside edges of the mat, you could do so. And that would be a bigger opening into the pelvis area. Let's release out of melting heart. To all fours and holding here. For our next pose, one of my favorites, it's dragon pose. We step forward, right hand, left hand in, and now we make our way into downward facing dog. I will show you a version of this. So downward facing dog, and then three-legged dog, take your right leg up and then bend through the knee and step onto the outside of the right wrist. You may take your knee down. So if this is not going to be the most comfortable for you too, or it's nice to have the knee down. Okay, so you may have your hands just on the mat here and gripping the mat with your finger pads to help take pressure off the wrists, or you're coming down to your forearms, and then of course that's going to take the pressure off the wrists. You can let the head hang down to help let the shoulders go. So just let yourself settle. And now for a version of this one, because this is a big opening, you can come into a lunge here forward like this here too. And then you can hold a lunge. You can just step back a little bit more. You can do this so that you're upright and then hold on to something. So I'm just going to show you when I'm up. So that would be fine. And so you're in your lunge like this. So finding, again, what's going to work for you. Holding it for a longer period of time is usually the hardest part. So that is definitely when we start to work with our thoughts, with our mind, being able to hold a pose for a longer period of time. I like to turn to my breath to help so that I can hold a pose for a longer period of time. Let your pelvis sink down. So let it go into the ground. So we're feeling the stretch. Front of the left leg, so into the quad, into the hip flexors, into the groin. Side of the hips. So the right hip. Coming out of dragon. You are down on your forearms. You can take your hands back. And then coming into downward facing dog, or all fours, finding what's going to work for you. If you're upright into your lunge, you can just come back to the front of your mat. Okay, into the other side, three-legged dog. So in downward facing dog, we take our left leg up and then bend through the knee and step onto the outside of the left wrist. You may take the knee down. You may have your hands up and then take or grip the mat with your finger pads to help take pressure off the wrists, or you're coming down to your forearms for a little bit more of a challenge, remember you could be up and into a lunge and then holding on to something and then just drop the hips down and hold right here. Here we all can drop the hips down though. You can have that pelvic drop if you're in dragon, or pelvic tilt. You're upright. Get into the hip flexors, your quad. Into the groin, outside of the left hip. Now are we able to let the head hang? You're in dragon. Coming out now of dragon pose. You may come to all fours or downward facing dog, and then to all fours. Coming over to the side of the body and then just sitting. Making your way down towards our mat. We'll make our way into a twist here. So side of our body, and then you can roll over to your back. You may take the knees into the chest and then take your legs up and bring them over to the left side. Bring your arms in line with your shoulders. Now we did a twist right at the beginning of our class. You don't have to do a twist like this, lying on your back. You can do it upright also, like we did before, or just you can have your legs forward and then just twist like this. So you don't have to do the cross of your legs for this one. And breathe. You can turn your head the opposite way of your knees. Back. Bring your head back to the center. And then make your way to the other side. So taking your legs back to the center and bring your legs up and over to the other side. Arms come in line with your shoulders. If you are upright, then we turn to the other side and with the twist. Again, you can turn the head the opposite way of the knees. Head comes back to the center. Legs come back to the center. Bring your knees into the chest and give yourself a squeeze. Bring your right foot, left foot down to the ground. Turn your knees over to the side and then make your way up. This is the time that we're going to be getting ready for Shavasana or Pentacle. Now, you may do the same pose that we did right at the beginning of our class. So coming back to it, that we had an incline or you were using pillows to lie on. You can lie on the side of the body. You can sit up and in an easy pose for yourself, or you're simply lying down, opening your body up, and opening your body up into a nice star. Get a blanket, keep yourself nice and warm. Once you've found your stillness, close your eyes. Natural breath. Shoulders soften. Softening away from the ears. Letting those physical blockages go. Releasing them out. Away from ourselves. Letting the earth absorb. We do not need, so that we can open up, feel happy, feel release. And remember, with our affirmation, all of my feelings are valid. So you'll notice different thoughts passing. Let them pass by one. I will call you back when it is time. Slowly coming back. You may notice the surface that we're lying on. You may notice different sounds around us. Letting yourself enjoy this time for yourself, letting yourself smile from the inside out. Start to wiggle your body or your toes and your fingers. And if you're lying on your back, you may bend through the knees. You can take your right arm overhead and roll over to your right side to fetal. Then making your way up to comfortable seated position for yourself. You can place your hands to your heart center. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your practice. I hope this class has helped you to feel physical release in different areas of your body, emotional release. Remember to notice those feelings, to recognize that they're valid. Namaste.
Thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome, Trisha.